Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April Lee and I am the Tipsy Housewife. I blog over at thetipsyhousewife.org. I'm also on Instagram at thetipsyhousewife, and I'm on Facebook at tipsywife. A little bit different. I started this How to Be a Housewife series so that everybody could have some basic, delicious, easy, affordable recipes in their back pocket. This is the second recipe in this series. Tonight we are making Penne Alla Vodka, as you could tell from the intro part of the video and the title. The first recipe that we made in this series was Meatloaf 101. I'll link that in the description below, along with the blog version of this recipe so that you can reference it when you make it. This is a delicious recipe that's easy for anyone to make. The ingredients are super accessible to everybody. I think I made this entire recipe for like $20, not including the vodka. And it's just a great dinner to have on hand. It makes great leftovers. It feeds a crowd. And it's also a great dinner to bring to somebody that maybe just had a baby or that unfortunately had a death in their family. It just makes a really nice meal to drop off at somebody's house with a nice box of pasta and some wine, maybe a salad and a loaf of bread. So I take you along with me as I shop for this recipe at Aldi, and then I walk you through the recipe step by step. So stay tuned, watch the entire video. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments below. And if you like what you see here and you want to subscribe to my channel, I would love that too. And if you like this video, give it a like at the end, and let's get cooking. So the only thing you need for this recipe are these artichoke hearts. I just get 2 jars of these and I drain them. The other thing you need for this recipe is heavy whipping cream. It's right here in the dairy section. So I just grab one of these. 2 sticks of butter for this. So I get the salted kind. And then you need a 1-pound package of Italian sausage. You can use mild or hot. You can buy it in the casing and take it out. I get this one. Ingredients you need are here in the pasta aisle. You can use a rigatoni. You can use a penne. You can use bow tie. I'm gonna use this penne with the lines. And then I like to use this Aldi marinara, this traditional one. So we go over to the fancy cheese section to get grated Parmigiano Reggiano or some kind of Italian cheese. And you need to buy the shredded kind, like this. Everything you need to make my vodka and penne pasta. It's all right here. This will make 6 servings, and I have a little bit left over for leftovers. So if you want more, you can double it. See here, everything for that dinner was $20.01. Not bad for a fancy dinner. I'm from Aldi, and I'm gonna walk you guys through the steps of making this recipe. This recipe has an alarming amount of butter, but that is what makes this recipe great. Don't let it dissuade you from making it, because you will be sorry. This stuff is liquid gold. It's absolutely delicious. You're definitely going to want to put it in your housewife repertoire. The only thing that you need that I am not able to get at Aldi is vodka. I have this vanilla vodka left over from the holidays. I would recommend using plain vodka, but I don't think the vanilla vodka will make that much of a difference. And you could just get the cheapest vodka that is out there. Also, the alcohol part of it cooks out. So there's no like alcoholic component to it at all. It's just part of the cooking process. If you absolutely do not drink alcohol and do not want to put alcohol in it or buy it, you can eliminate it. It'll taste a little bit different, but it'll still be delicious. Just don't get rid of that butter. For this recipe, you will be using 2 sticks of butter. So I've got my enameled cast iron skillet here. It's got high sides. I am going to slowly melt both sticks of butter in this pan. Again, this is a treat. This is a once a month or once every couple months Sunday dinner. Don't skimp on the butter. So just keep the heat on low and slow with this. And like I said, let the butter melt in this pan. And when that's melted, we are going to add the Italian sausage to this. The butter is melted. So you're gonna take your Italian sausage. Now, in my store, they sell the Italian sausage already out of the casing. If you have to buy Italian sausage in the casing, you just squeeze it out of the you know, like the skin that's around it. But my Aldi sells their Italian sausage like this, so it makes it a step easier. So you're gonna put a pound of Italian sausage in the pot with the butter, and you're gonna break it up. So the one tool I have, and I found this at Dollar Tree, is this ground meat chopper. A lot of my followers over on Instagram have asked me about this, and they have gone to Dollar Tree. Some have found it, some have not. This was $1. It's awesome. It breaks up ground meat like you wouldn't believe. It's great for shredding chicken and other meat. If you can't find it at your Dollar Tree, it is on Amazon. I think there's a good one on there for like 12 bucks. But this thing is like my new favorite kitchen tool. And then I'm using it here to break up the sausage, and we want to cook this sausage till it's nice and like golden brown. We want it to have a nice like kind of crispiness to it. So it's just cooking away in that butter, that delicious, everything's better with butter. My sausage is almost cooked. It's fine right now the way it is to add the next ingredient, which is this jar of quartered artichoke hearts. So you just, I don't drain it because I kind of like that acidic, like the juice that it's in. I don't know the proper word for it. So we're going to add these artichoke hearts to this, and we're going to let these get a little bit brown as well. It's already smelling good. Checking in on the sauce. See, the artichokes are just mellowing out in there. I kind of like to break them up with my spoon because I don't like to get big chunks when I'm eating this. But if you do, you can leave them. It's very easy. It's your call. You're not going to mess up the recipe if you do it any differently. So we're just going to let this sit. And then the next ingredient you're going to add to this is the vodka. So I've got that ready to go, but I'm going to let everything get a little bit more brown before I add the vodka. Over here I've got my Starbucks copycat medicine ball tea going. I'll link that in the description below. I made that on YouTube a couple weeks ago, or was it last week? And it's absolutely delicious. So I'll link that video below so you guys can make it too. But if you're feeling under the weather, this stuff will cure whatever is hurting your sinuses. My sausage and artichokes have been cooking for a decent amount of time. I'm gonna add the 1 cup of vodka, and I'm gonna give this a stir. And then I'm going to set it to simmer, and I'm gonna let this simmer for like 15 minutes because you want the alcohol to burn off. So you wanna make sure you give it enough time to simmer. So I'm gonna turn that heat down, and then I'll be back in 15 minutes to add the final ingredients. That's how quick this is. We're almost done, you guys. I have to be perfectly honest with you guys. I normally wouldn't recommend using vanilla vodka for a savory recipe, but I'm not hating how this is smelling. Like, it smells really good. You'll know when it's nearly ready for the other ingredients because you can kind of put your face a little close to it. And if you smell a very strong waft of alcohol, you know you need to let it simmer a little bit more. But after about 15 minutes, all the alcohol part of it should be cooked out. And now we're gonna add the marinara. I just use a jar like this. You can use your own marinara. You can use a can of marinara. You can use whatever your favorite marinara is, but you just need about 24 ounces. You're gonna stir that in, and we're gonna let this simmer for 15 minutes. We just wanna keep layering the flavors and getting all of those flavors to kind of marinate together. So we're gonna give it a good stir, make sure you're not letting it burn, and then we're going to let this simmer away for another 15 minutes. You already also know this tip, but I just add a little bit of water to my jar when there's sauce left in there because I don't wanna waste any of it. And I give it a good shake. And then I add the rest to the sauce so that there's hardly any left in the jar. I'm sure most of you already knew that, but just a little tip in case you didn't. We also like things spicy. If you don't, or you're feeding kids who don't like things spicy, you don't have to add this next step, but I add about a tablespoon of dried chili pepper flake, and I let that sit in there too. Again, this is not a step that you have to have. There's already seasoning in that sausage, but we kind of like this to be very spicy. So you can adjust that part to your preference. If you don't want to do the rest of the steps, this right here is an excellent sauce on its own. You don't have to do the rest of it, but I obviously will be, since this is like my signature housewife go-to meal. But again, if you wanted to just leave it at this, you can cook up your pasta and toss it in this pan, and it's a great dinner just like this. And then I'm gonna show you the rest though. I have to be completely honest and think that vanilla vodka might be the way to go with this from now on, because it is so good. It's a much more mellow flavor than regular vodka. Either is fine, whichever you have on hand or whichever you want to buy, but I'm kind of thinking this might be my new secret ingredient to this sauce. But anywho, I've got the sauce simmered in the sausage and the artichokes. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of the heavy whipping cream. Oops, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the sauce. The person who originally shared this recipe with me, in the directions, it said to add whipping cream until the mixture is a pink pukey color. But in order to make that more appealing, I changed it up to the measurement of about 1 cup. If you like it creamier than this, you can go ahead and add more cream. If you like it less creamy, you can add less cream. This is the color consistency I like it. I might actually add 1 more splash of it after it simmers for a minute. I'll be able to see. But once you make this the first time and try it, you'll know what your preference is. I like mine just a little bit creamier. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just a splash. But I think 1 cup is a good place to start before you try this recipe any differently. You can taste it because everything in it is cooked. This is gonna simmer for another 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna add my good quality Parmesan cheese, and that's it. I just have to boil my pasta and serve. My sauce is nearly complete. The last thing I'm gonna add is some really good quality Parmesan cheese. Again, you can add as much or as little as you want. This is enough for us. Mr. does not love Parmesan cheese, so I just add that much, and then to my own bowl, I add more. And that is it. I'm telling you guys, this is gonna be the best pasta you've ever had. You're gonna wanna put this in your housewife handbook. It's gonna be a recipe you make over and over again. It goes great with any noodle. I use rigatoni. Tonight we're using penne. So all I have to do is toss this with some pasta sauce. Toss this with some pasta, serve it up with a salad and some garlic bread, and it is a perfect meal. I also want to say that if you ever bring people meals, if they're sick or if they just had a baby, this makes a great jar of sauce to bring to a new mom or somebody who's just lost somebody, with a little box of pasta and a salad and some really good bread. So keep that in mind next time you have to take somebody a meal. Look at that beauty. The camera focus. I'll show you guys once it's all plated up. So I've got my pasta, my penne in the bowl. I am not one to like to cook the pasta in the sauce. That's just me. If you want to be like an authentic Italian cook, I suppose that you could put the pasta right in the sauce and toss it around. I don't do that. I like to do it this way. Totally your preference. So I just get that goodness all on that pasta like that. You guys, this is like the best thing ever. So here she is, my Penne Alla Vodka. And I serve it. I put a little bit of fresh parm on top. And it is just friggin' delicious. Trust me when I tell you, you're gonna wanna drink the sauce. Make sure you have extra bread so that you can stand at the stove and sop it up and just eat the sauce, because it is that friggin' good. Look at that, you guys. That is deliciousness in a bowl. Perfect for a snowy, cold day or any day.